welcome back to my loyal subscribers, and a warm hello to all our new viewers joining us today. Thank you so much for tuning in and being part of our community. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Alright guys, if you don't know who I am Dr. Jasmine. I'm a naturopathic doctor and nutritionist, and it's always my pleasure to share with you what I know and continue to learn about all things natural holistic health. Alright, so today I want to continue on down that path of hair loss and shedding and thinning and hair growth and those key root causes. We've kind of been talking about metabolism, and before we talked about B12 and blood flow and how those are important pieces to an efficient metabolism. So today I want to discuss our master gland for regulating the rate of our metabolism, which is our thyroid. Okay, so your thyroid actually kind of sits here. So if your doctor ever palpates or touches you here, that's where your thyroid sits. And oftentimes in dysfunction, it'll be enlarged. So that's why we palpate. Now, this gland is very important when it comes to hair growth. If you've ever complained about fatigue to your provider, oftentimes they'll run thyroid labs to see if your thyroid is under functioning, because it basically tells your body how fast to work, kind of at the bare basics. So the thyroid is like, okay, you need to work, at a rate of 60 miles per hour, if you will, or 2 miles per hour, right? And you kind of want to be in that happy middle. You don't want to be too fast, you don't want to be too slow. But when we're tired, if your thyroid labs are off, then this condition is actually called hypothyroidism. A lot of us are familiar with it. A lot of us struggle with this. But it's important because the ability of your body to make energy efficiently is directly related, again, to how well we grow hair, right? So with a sluggish metabolism, not only are we seeing decreased energy, we're also seeing decreased processing of nutrients. So then those nutrients aren't even available. And then, of course, we see shedding, poor growth. Now, the way my brain kind of thinks about the thyroid and production of hormone is like a factory, right? So your thyroid is the factory, and your workers, if you will, are making thyroid hormone. They're making T3 and T4. These are the inactive and active versions of thyroid hormone. And as the hormones being produced, the more that you have, the faster the metabolism. The slower they're being produced, the slower metabolism, right? Well, your body's really smart because it knows when there's not enough thyroid hormone, your body kind of knows that. So I kind of think of that as like the foreman in the factory saying, hey guys, you need to make more hormone. And it's like they're throwing out all these memos. So I just imagine them dumping memos down to, the floor workers saying, make more hormone, make more hormone, make more hormone. And the slower they work, the more memos get pushed out. Well, those memos are TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone. And this is actually usually the first line biomarker in labs that conventional doctors run to determine if thyroid's even involved in, your presenting case. Now, it's good because thyroid stimulating hormone is super important. But the downfall with TSH by itself, it's the range on the labs is huge. It's like 0.4 to 4. That's what's considered normal. And I've met a lot of people that are normal, but they're tired, they're constipated, their skin's dry, they can't make it throughout the day without taking a nap, they wake up sleepy, their hair's shedding, and their doctor's telling them that their thyroid's not involved. And it's not that it's not involved, it's not necessarily at a disease state. But as a naturopathic doctor, as someone who loves prevention and wants to not necessarily get to that disease state, if you're typically between a 1 or 2 in that range, I'm happy. That's what I would consider optimal. But if you're above 2, that's more of a suboptimal area. And that tells me that those foremen are throwing down a lot of memos trying to tell the floor workers to make more hormones. So that's when we have to kind of figure out and see, okay, why aren't you making hormone, right? So other labs that you can ask your doctor to run if you're trying to determine if thyroid is a part of your hair shed or your fatigue or anything else you might be experiencing are T3 and T4. Those are the actual hormones themselves. Also, a marker called reverse T3. Oftentimes, if we're deficient in like selenium, we'll see the body make reverse T3. And then also look at iodine. This is a crucial part in activating and making thyroid hormone. And if you don't have enough iodine, you're not going to make thyroid hormone efficiently. And then also look at those thyroid antibodies. So sometimes when we have like an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis, this is actually where your body sees your own thyroid as a threat, and it creates antibodies and it attacks, right? And it really starts to damage that thyroid gland, which overall damages function, right? And we start to see those symptoms. So that tells me not only are you not making the hormone, you also have an immune response involved. So that increases inflammatory processes and that inflammation, which is also playing another role in your ability to grow healthy hair. So that also just gives me and other doctors more information about what your body's experiencing, so we know kind of what other tests we might want to run to help figure out, well, why is this happening, right? So if you're wondering, like, Dr. Jasmine, I think I might have a thyroid issue. My hair's thinning, but maybe I have some other symptoms. Other things to think about are going to be fatigue, constipation. So, if you're not going once a day, at least once every other day, it might be your thyroid. If you also have things like dry skin or the hair loss, and then inability to lose weights or weight gain. These are very common symptoms I see often. And honestly, my trifecta for people are fatigue, constipation, and hair loss. If I hear those three things, my first thought is thyroid. Another really cool trick to kind of think about, if the outsides of your eyebrows are starting to go, that's a sign that maybe your thyroid might be off. It's just one of those kind of clinical signs that we see. So what are some things that you can do to improve your thyroid? Well, one, thyroid hormone is actually made out of protein. So they're amino acids or the building blocks to protein. One is called tyrosine. This is actually the precursor to thyroid hormone. So if you're not eating enough protein, you oftentimes just don't have enough ingredient to make that product. So ensure that you're getting plenty of protein, at least a serving with every meal. Also, get enough iodine. If you like foods like prunes, seaweed, if you do like algae, these are really good foods that are rich in iodine. So having those, a few times throughout your week just ensures, again, this cofactor is in abundance. Also, selenium-rich foods. So selenium is super rich in like shellfish, like shrimp, but also Brazil nuts. So whether you're an omnivore or a vegan or vegetarian, 2 to 4 Brazil nuts a day goes a long way at helping to ensure that metabolism is well, and we're, thyroid support is in place. Also, get enough sleep. Sometimes we have a thyroid issue, but if we're not sleeping, then we don't even have that good foundation to repair and grow and thrive. And so then when we do get up, we're still feeling kind of sluggish. If you have a autoimmune piece, like say your antibodies come back positive, I often find that there's a toxic load. So, kind of think about where you could reduce the toxins in your life. If you're drinking alcohol or smoking, you might want to eliminate or at least reduce those activities. Get an air filter in your home or your car, especially if you have a long commute. Consider a water filter. These are really easy ways that we can start implementing, a good lifestyle that reduces that environmental toxic burden. And then finally, find and avoid allergens, especially food allergies or sensitivities. If you have a food that your body just maybe doesn't love, it just triggers your immune system. Okay, it basically says, oh, you shouldn't be here. I'm going to attack you. And then that kind of collateral damage, that's what attacks your thyroid. A biggie I find with thyroid conditions is actually gluten. So if you do think something is positive, or you find that, with your doctor, your levels are positive, consider taking out gluten for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. Now, this is just the hypo side. I'll also, be doing a video on the hyperthyroidism and how that can negatively affect our hair growth cycle. So definitely stay tuned for that. But guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have a question or if you have a thyroid condition that you want a little more information about, definitely leave a comment. I definitely am taking those into consideration. I love answering you guys, and if there's enough interest, I'll definitely do another video answering those questions. If you're like, I don't want to add it as a comment, feel free to email me at askdrjazz@gmail.com. And then if you would like to work with me, because I'd love to work with you, please visit me at www.drjasmine.com. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. May God bless you and your health. Bye.